So a lot of managers just assume that their employees are just going to come in and say that, hey, I have an issue, right? Or they're just going to assume that their employees would be open. But not all employees are.
Mm.
Especially if you look at Asia as a culture, speaking up is not something that is very easy to do, right? So people could be anxious, nervous, worried, so on and so forth, right? So how do we change this dialogue? How do we make it a psychologically safe place to open up? And that is where the manager plays a huge role. Understanding that, hey, maybe my team may not come and directly tell me, so I need to ask, right? And
Mm.
not just saying, hey, how are you doing? Or is everything okay, right?
Mm.
Asking a very specific question of what is it that is making your work harder than it needs to be right now? And then following up with, okay, why don't we set aside some time and then I can see how I can support you, how the team can support you,
Mhm.
and so on and so forth, right? So this, I would say, would save a lot of time and a lot
Mm.
of discussions that could be complicated or conflictual, right? I would say that this conversation, if you have it a lot more earlier, could prevent a bigger and more challenging discussion later on, right? So all managers need to do is just ask this one question, right? And be very genuine about it. And I can see that there are a lot of pitfalls that first time and middle managers fall into, right? And like you said, the first 90 days are very crucial, right? So many managers, first time managers, the pitfall that they fall into is, I would say, perfectionism, micromanaging, right? Because they are trying to prove that they deserve this promotion, right? So the first 90 days just goes with them trying to prove to everyone else that they deserve this promotion, right? So the one thing I would like to tell all newly promoted managers out there, right? Whether you are a first-time manager, a middle manager, or you're hired newly to a new organization, right? And you've directly been hired as a manager, right? Have the confidence that the organization has given you this role because they see your potential and your worth, right? They've seen your technical skills, they've seen how much you have put in, right, in your role. So during the first 90 days, you don't need to prove to anyone that you deserve this promotion, right? Instead, what you need to do is redefine what you look at as success, right? What you actually need to do also is to spend this time, this 90 days, in learning what the role requires, right? You already have the technical skills. Now, what you need to do is bring in the leadership skills, right? So if you are a team member and you've moved to a managerial position, right? So you moved from peer to manager. You already know your team, right? You already, more or less, let's say, even if you've been there for a year, you've already known your team, right? So this makes it a little more easier. However, the pitfall over here is having a bias, right? When we start working with people, we already develop a sense of who they are, right? And this could form a lot of biases as a leader, right? And if you are completely new to the team, right, you need to start from scratch, which means that it's a completely new slate and you may not already have that bias. But irrespective of whether you are new to the team or you were a peer and then you become a manager, right? Listen to your team, understand what your team requires, right? Understand their strengths and their career goals, right? This is a very important part because not everyone wants to move in a particular career path, right? As you can see, some people just want to remain in the technical side, some people want to move into the managerial position, and some people may not.